And welcome to another episode of the Why Behind the Why podcast. I am Tyrell James,
I'm Dr. Nicole Thomas.
and today we are talking about dreams, metaphysical explanations for dreams. So, when I first started podcasting, I had two podcasts. I did my podcast, the Rorschach Test podcast, and then I had another podcast called While You Were Sleeping.
Okay.
And what I would do, the same person that I would interview on the Rorschach Test, as soon as we finished that, we would do another podcast. We would go straight into the While You Were Sleeping podcast. And I would just have the person tell me a dream that had some sort of significance to them at any point in their life, even from childhood, adulthood, whatever. It didn't matter. Just to give me all of the details about a dream that has some sort of significance. And then I would connect that to their passions and to what they did for a living, to who they are as a person. The same thing I do with the Rorschach test. Of course, I just use ink blots with that. But I was doing the same thing with dreams.
Okay.
I was asked the question a lot, are you a dream interpreter? Absolutely not. I am not a dream interpreter. However, I can interpret things based off of my view, my experiences, my thoughts. And I was able to put two and two together when it came to a lot of things with people, as far as linking their dreams to their passions. I was able to do
hmm hmm
that often. Um, but now I want to, because again, like I said, this was from my view, this is from where I sit. But now I want to get into metaphysics when it comes to dreams.
Okay.
And that podcast may be something that I revisit at some point, once I go through the whole, the metaphysical course, and then I become a doctor of metaphysics and all of this stuff. Then I may revisit that. But until then, I have you. So so I just want to I want to talk to you about um, the metaphysical explanation for dreams. Um, I know a lot of times dreams are um, they're signs.
hmm
They are sometimes our reality manifesting itself
hmm
through our subconscious.
hmm
Sometimes one thing that I realize is some of the things that we try not to think about during the day. Well, let me speak for me. Some of the things that I try to not think about, some of the things that I try to purposely avoid during the day, when I have no control over what my subconscious wants, where my subconscious wants to go. At nighttime,
hmm
it'll play itself out. So why?
That sound is still going in and out, so I'm not sure how it's going to translate, but there is a small pause. So I just wanted to let you know that in the
Okay.
sound, there's a small pause here and there that I keep hearing.
Okay.
So I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But were you able to hear me clearly? Well,
Yeah, pretty clearly. Just that last statement. So re-say that last statement for me.
um, I don't. I'm trying to remember what I said. Um, Basically, why is it? I think I was saying that a lot of the things that I may try to avoid thinking about during the day, at nighttime when I have no control over where my subconscious wants to go, sometimes it'll just play itself out in my dreams.
hmm
So why is that? Where's the metaphysical explanation for the dreams that I'm having and their connection to what's really going on in our reality?
Well, remembering everything is energy. So when you look at it from an energy standpoint, your subconscious, your thoughts are energy. Every thought you have is a particular energy. Every word has a particular energy. So what goes into your subconscious, let's talk about the subconscious for a little bit. The subconscious is like a recorder. It records everything. So how when I studied it, how I learned, or what I discovered in the study of it, is that your subconscious is so powerful that you're not only recording what you're conscious of, but even the small unconscious things that you're not even aware of. So for an example, you can be in one room listening to one thing, doing one thing, and there can be something going on in another room and you can barely hear it, but your subconscious is very, very aware of it, and it's picking up that also and even recording that. So your subconscious is like a massive recorder, and it records everything, the things that you are paying attention to and the things that you're not paying attention to. So in that case, you're picking up everything that's around you, everything that's around you, you're picking it up. The things that you're trying to pick up and the things that you may not be trying to pick up. So saying that everything has an energy, this energy, we're energy. It's scientifically proven that we're energy. In the Hebrew Bible, it says the energy of God hovered over the water. Y'all hear me say that all the time because I think people miss that. So because of that, a lot of times what we're putting in our subconscious and what we're feeding our subconscious, I tell my kids all the time, if you're going to sit and listen or look at movies, horror movies, all day long and feed that to your subconscious. Of course, when you go to sleep at night, you're going to have nightmares or you might have dreams that you consider to be bad because you've fed your subconscious a certain type of energy. You've been operating in a certain energy the whole time. So that energy keeps playing. Whatever you give yourself, whatever you feed yourself. So your subconscious is like food. Whatever you feed it, it's going to show up. It's going to come out one way or another. So whether it's coming out in your dreams, it's going to come out in your dreams, your thoughts, consciously, unconsciously, it's going to come out one way or another.
Okay. So I want to go back to
Hmm.
when I was a little kid. Okay, I was a little boy. The very first dream that I ever remember, and I was probably about 4 or 5 years old, and I still remember this dream very vividly. I dreamed that I was. This is going to sound really weird, but whatever. This we're talking about. Before you judge me, before anybody out there judges me, remember I was like 4 or 5 years old. You're judging a 4 or 5 year old kid, okay? So, but I dreamed that I was riding a motorcycle on the
Okay.
Wilson Bridge, and but as I was oh, my mother and my sister's mother were both on motorcycles in front of me, and I'm
Okay.
following them, the Wilson Bridge. All of a sudden, something that I can't see picks me up and throws me off to the side, and I land in trees, on a like a soft pile of trees.
Hmm.
Um, and then the scene changes, and I'm laying in bed. And as I'm laying in bed, I look up at the TV, and there's somebody who is on the phone, like they're calling me. And then I reach for the phone. I pick the phone up, put the phone to my ear, and then I can't get the phone off of my ear. It's just stuck. And I'm trying to pull it off. Um, I stop trying to pull it off. Now, in the dream, I am laying in my parents' bed, and
Okay.
I wake up. I'm sorry, I don't wake up. I'm laying in the bed. This is all happening in the dream. I'm laying in the bed. I get up, and now I look over at my room from my parents' room, and my room is it's like this wall, but it's like a wall where the door would be, but it's glowing green.
Okay.
And then I woke up, and when I woke up, the funny thing is when I woke up, my cat. We had a cat. My cat was standing on my chest, looking at me. So um, the dream scared me. Now, I'm gonna tell you why the dream scared me so much. Do you remember the movie Maximum Overdrive?
No.
Okay. So all of
is,
the
is that
machines.
what is that the dude that was? that drove the fast car and had the fire and all that bit?
I don't remember if that happened in that dream or not. I mean, that movie or not. But
Okay.
but but basically, all the machines came to life and started attacking and killing people.
Okay.
So
Okay.
after I saw that movie, well, one of the scenes in the movie, they're on a drawbridge, and as people are driving over the drawbridge just comes up. All of a sudden, the cars start, falling backwards, and people start dying and stuff, right? So that takes us to the first part of my dream. I'm on the Wilson Bridge, and at the time, the Wilson Bridge was a drawbridge.
Right. I
So,
remember.
right, so I'm on this drawbridge, and I'm terrified that this bridge is about to that it's about to just open up, and that I'm just going to just kind of fall backwards as it comes up. Well, instead of that happening, something picks me up and throws me off to the side, throws me into the trees. Right now,
Hmm.
there was also a commercial at the time. I don't know if it was MCI or AT&T. I can't remember, but at that time there was a commercial where people were on the phone and the phone was getting stuck to their ear, and for
Okay.
whatever reason, that commercial kind of spooked me.
Okay.
Okay, now the last part of this, I was watching. So Earth, Wind, and Fire is my first favorite group. Okay, and my mother and my father, they were huge Earth, Wind, and Fire fans, and my mother had this tape, this VHS tape of one of their performances, and in one of their performances, I can't really remember. I have to go back and watch it, but they dressed up as something. I don't remember what it was, and it would just kind of rise up, and I believe they were trying to show good versus evil. And this
Okay.
thing that would rise up was supposed to be something that was evil. And I used to watch this, and when it would rise up, I would rise up with it. I was just, just mimicking everything that I saw. My mother said one day I looked at it and it just freaked me out. I
Hmm.
mean, I just got scared. And but whatever it was that I saw in my room with
Okay.
that green, whatever it was that was, for some reason there was some connection. It didn't look like that thing that was rising up, but for some reason it reminded me of that thing. So
Okay.
I was just I was freaked out. So now what's happening is my fears are kind of, I guess, playing themselves out in my dreams.
Hmm. Hmm. And
So
you just actually helped prove my point, because think about what you said. You was watching a show that um caused some fear,
mhm,
that caused some fear, and that fear, because of that fear, um that's the energy. So the energy, there's an emotion. Emotion is energy. The energy was fear, right?
mhm,
From watching the movie. So as a result of that energy of fear, um, then you have this dream that causes what? In the dream, it causes fear. Now, in the dream, we could go into all types of interpretations, because I was picking it apart as you were saying it, because I'm able sometimes to interpret dreams also. So, but in that dream, it also showed you that you were safe. So, although there was fear in it, it also, the picking it up and putting you into the trees, you were safe within the dream, but it still caused the same energy was brung on by the movie of fear.
mhm,
So then the next part comes up, and it's the phone stuck on the earring. That's something again that you have put in, that came from the outside, that was put in to the subconscious and the conscious mind. So
mhm,
therefore, that then you dream that, which brings upon the same energy. That same energy runs a fear. Then we go to the next thing that was put in through the conscious and the subconscious mind, of the green door, or the good versus evil. And you have the same emotion. All of it is energy. And energy, the emotion is the energy. So you had the same energy, same different events. And I love this. I'm about to connect this in a minute. So the same energy, different things, same energy. So catch that because we're about to relate it. Different events, same energy. Okay, but in that how things work. So we talk now we let's talk about the law of attraction, or what they call the law of attraction. You know, whatever's on the inside shows up on the outside, but that's not it's an emotion, it's an energy. Energy is emotion. Emotion causes it's energy. It's all energy. So if you're operating in an energy, or if you're feeling an emotion, let's say an emotion, let's call it emotion. If you're feeling that emotion, and you give you an example, you wake up, you know, you're upset about something, you didn't sleep well, and you're kind of frustrated, we'll call it frustrated. So the emotion is frustration, you know what I mean? And you wake up and you're frustrated because you couldn't sleep, and you know you couldn't get comfortable, whatever. So that's the first emotion that's running, right? So then, because we're operating in that emotion, and if you don't switch it, the next event that comes up is going to, it has to bring you the same emotion. It has to. So now I'm already frustrated, and I get up and I go and I'm trying to get dressed, and I can't find anything to wear that works. You know what I mean? And now I wanted a cup of coffee, and I can't get the cup of coffee because I'm running late because I couldn't find nothing to wear.
Hmm.
Say different events, same emotion,
Hmm.
same emotion. And that's how the law of attraction works. The law of attraction works is we call things to ourselves by the emotion, or the feeling, or the energy that we're operating in and that we're having. So that happens, and it shows up even in your dreams. So let's get back to the dreams, relating it back to the dreams. That happens even in your dreams.
Hmm. Okay. So, I'm so mad. There was something that I wanted to say before I say what I'm about to say. Ah, boy. Maybe it'll come back to me. But I felt like there was an order, and I needed to say that first. But anyway, I'll come back to it if I remember it. If so, let's say that a person is having a rather stressful day. You know, they've just had all these horrible things happen throughout the day, right? And they lay down to go to sleep. And of course, they're about to lay down. They have all of these things on their mind. These things are just mind consuming. What is it that they can do to prevent their subconscious from not allowing them to rest? Because I believe that nightmares, bad dreams, I think that that is a place, even though you're asleep, you're not resting. I really believe that's not a place of rest because it's not a place of peace. But how can that person get to a place of peace so that they can actually rest, and that the things that, you know, the reality or the things that they've had to deal with throughout the day don't start to manifest in their dreams?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I mean, the mind is powerful, and we have control over it. It doesn't have control over you unless you allow it. So we always have the opportunity to change the emotion and change the energy. You always have the ability to, if you're operating in something that doesn't feel good, to then take the time to tap into that feel good energy, and then milk it. So for example, we can use, again, you was 4 or 5 years old, so you wouldn't know to do it now, but we can use the same scenario. So you watch a bad, something that's not a feel good, it doesn't give you the good emotion, the good feel good energy that you're looking for, that you want to operate in, and you don't want to carry it over to bed. Number one, I would say it's very, very important to monitor what goes in. We have the ability to do it, and I think it's important to choose what we allow or what we feed ourselves. Some things we can't help. There are things that we can help. So make sure we're feeding ourselves things that make you feel good and that cause on joy, peace, love, happiness, or whatever. And then choose situations that bring upon that same emotion. But those things that we can't help, there are things that we can't help that happens. So then you have the ability to quiet yourself and then go in. And the mind is so powerful that you can think of a thought that feels good or take yourself back to a time that caused a happy emotion and be right back in that place. You can take yourself right back like you was there. And that's the best thing that I would say to do, to quiet yourself and go to your happy place and milk it. Stay there for a good little while so that you can feel the joy and the love and the peace and get into that energy. And again, milk it for a little while. So when I say milk it for a while, stay there, because what you'll start seeing is more happy, good thoughts are coming. Now, if you've operated in an energy for a very long time, that's always going to be your dominant energy, and it takes more work to keep focusing back to the feel good or to then do something that it and if that's your dominant energy, if that dominant energy, every time you think of something good, it takes you back to that or that emotion that doesn't feel good, then I would say on purpose do something. Actually choose something and do it that puts you in a good place, in a good mood, in a happy feel, and and that way milk that emotion, because then you're physically, mentally, spiritually present there in that moment and you shift the energy.
So basically, smoke weed before you go to sleep.
Well, I won't say that because I don't smoke. So because I don't smoke, I can't relate to, how that is. So whatever, but no judgment, no judgment. So whatever that is for you, it doesn't matter. Whatever that is for you, it's going to be different for everybody. Whatever, for some, it might be taking a bath and sitting and having a glass of wine, or watching a feel good movie, or doing some yoga and stretching. Everything, it might be different for everything. It might be hugging your kids, picking them up and soaking in all that love that they just seem to give us so freely. So for everybody, it might be cuddling up in the bed with the one you want to cuddle up in the bed with. You know what I mean? It might be leaving from the bed. It might be getting up and leaving from the bed that you in. Hey, it could be
Because they may
different.
be the cause of the bad dreams.
Hey, you better say it. You, but whatever it is, it's doing it on purpose. We have a lot more control than most people think they have. We have a lot more. I mean, choice is huge. We choose happiness and we choose misery. It's
Mhm.
all a choice. We choose love and we choose fear. And a lot of people say, they'll do something in fear and call it love, but that's because we're very, very confused about it is what it feels like it is. So if it feels like fear, then it's fear. If it feels like love, then it's love. You know what I mean? It's very clear. They're on the same spectrum, but they're at completely opposite ends. So it's choosing it on purpose. It's
Mhm.
choosing it on purpose. I'm going to purposely choose something that's going to bring me joy. I'm going to purposely choose me, um, something that causes me joy, something that causes me to have the emotion of love, joy, peace, happiness. And it's on purpose, and it's doing it on purpose. And that's not called selfishness, it's called self preservation.
Mhm. Yes. I will do yoga sometimes before bed. It helps incredibly. Um, I will also pop an edible. And I will turn on Impractical Jokers. But I'll either turn on Impractical Jokers or I will turn on golf. And
Hmm.
Impractical Jokers, of course, is something that's funny. I can sit there and laugh at it, and I think that that's something good to put into my spirit um, before I go to sleep, and
I
to
love
feed
it.
my subconscious something funny. That along with the edible, that makes it even funnier with the edible, right? If I turn on golf, for me, golf is a place of peace.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now I'm feeding my subconscious that peaceful place. And the edible, again, allows me to just relax and
Hmm.
just kind of calm my nerves. Um, One of the things that I have learned, it just goes back. You and I have had so many conversations about as a man thinketh, and as this
So it
man,
is.
yeah, as this man has been thinking and realizing the power that I have when it comes to my emotions, to my thoughts, to how my day is going to go, how my night is going to go. I've come across so many different realizations. One of the things that I think has been the biggest for me lately is um well, let me go back. I have PTSD,
Hmm.
not from military. I was never in the military, but you know the story,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
I've just been
Hmm.
through things. And my PTSD would oftentimes manifest itself in my dreams.
Hmm.
I would
Hmm.
have very violent dreams. I would go for a while. I would have 2 to 3 violent dreams a week,
Oh wow.
and we're talking about me getting shot, me getting stabbed, me shooting somebody, me stabbing somebody, fights that are like extremely bloody and just, I mean, it was just horrible, and then waking up in the middle of the night, also don't sleep well, can't sleep for more than 4 hours at a time. So I will wake up and on a normal night when I don't have those dreams, I'm like, I got to get back to sleep
Hmm.
because I got to get up in the morning. The nights where I did have those dreams, I didn't want to go back to sleep because I didn't want to go back into one of those violent dreams.
Hmm.
I've always it does something to my spirit. So when I wake up, my spirit is clearly vexed after having one of those dreams, right? So
Right.
after we started having our conversations, and you were just making me aware of my own power when it came to my thoughts, my emotions, I realized at nighttime what I was allowing to happen that was sending me into these dreams.
Hmm.
The stress of the day, certain things that were triggers, certain things that have been triggers for years, that even though it may not necessarily have triggered me throughout the day,
Hmm.
still on my mind.
Hmm.
And I realized when I laid down to go to sleep, I realized, and I'm talking about this is recently within the last maybe 2 months, month and a half, something like that. I realized if I tell myself, Terrell, stop thinking about it, it doesn't have any power over you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I've actually applied that even to business, because part of the reason that I can't sleep sometimes is because my mind is just always doing this. I can't turn my mind off. So sometimes I just have to tell myself, Terrell, stop thinking about it. Just stop
It's
thinking about it. And then I stop thinking about it, and then I go to sleep. But
it's
the bigger part in that is I don't remember the last time I had. Well, it's been over a month and a half since I've had one of those dreams.
wow. That's
Yep,
powerful.
it is. It really is. I mean, I just have. It's now I'm still waking up 4 hours later, but still, like and the funny thing is, I'm not really remembering my dreams now. I'm really not. They say that you always dream. I don't know how true that is because how do you know? But,
Right.
but I'm if I am dreaming, I'm not really remembering my dreams now. I prefer it that way. I don't want to remember because I have never been a fan of dreams because if it's bad, I wake up thinking it really happened. If it's
Okay.
good, I wake up thinking it really happened. And now I'm disappointed because I'm either disappointed because it didn't happen because it
Right.
was something good, or there's a moment of uneasiness where, like I said, my spirit is vexed when I first wake up after a bad dream. So,
I'm glad you said that because when even before you started saying your remedy, the first thing that I thought of is even with the restlessness. Like, so there's times when if there's a lot on my mind, I'll have a hard time sleeping. And I have to sit and talk to myself. And that's so powerful. People underestimate the power of talking to yourself and
mhm,
and causing your body to submit to you. You know what I mean? So I'll tell myself, okay, it's time to rest, it's time to sleep. You know, even like you telling yourself, it's nothing I can do. You can tell yourself, I'm safe. Like I am completely safe. I'm in a safe environment. I'm comfortable. I'm around loved ones. Nothing can happen to me. I'll even go as far as to say, my angels and my ancestors, and I'm always fully protected. I'll take it all the way there. It's so powerful to talk to yourself, even to your body, and tell your body, okay, now it's time for you to settle down. It's time to sleep, and we're going to have a good sleep. We're going to go into this good sleep, and we're going to sleep until it's time to wake up, and cause your body to submit to your command. And a
mhm,
lot of time that takes discipline. You know what I mean? It takes you having the relationship with your body so that you can talk to it and it submits to you. So even doing meditation, people say, I can't meditate, I can't meditate, I can't sit there quiet. But meditation, part of that is making your body submit to you. So your mind is saying, get up and do this, get up and do this. And you telling your mind, you're telling your body, no, this is what we're going to do. We're going to sit here and we're going to sit here quietly for this amount of time. And after that, then we'll move. And
mhm,
you're causing your body to submit to you. And when you do that and you teach your body to submit to you, that's a powerful thing.
mhm. Yeah, it is. Absolutely is. And you're able to take control of your emotions.
There you go. And
Hmm.
then you tell it what to do instead of it telling you what to do.
Right. Yeah. And I think the even more powerful part about that is you're able to take control of your subconscious. You have more control over your subconscious when you're awake. You are
Yeah, because
powerless at nighttime when you're asleep.
but that's why it's so important to pick and choose what we put in it. Because
Exactly. Yeah.
whatever you put on, the dominant thing that you put in it is going to come out. Reprogramming your brain is one of the biggest things I tell my kids. It is the best work you'll ever do in your life, to
Hmm.
pick and choose what you're going to put in it. So they used to laugh at me because I was very very careful about what I look. I still am. I'm very careful about what I look at. I'm not going to look at any scary movies. I'm not looking at any of that because why am I going to bring on the emotion of fear? Because I understand that that's an energy. So if I can help not to put in, I'm definitely not going to program myself to be fearful.
Right.
The idea is to not be. So I'm very, very careful what I watch. I'm very, very careful with what I listen to. Even at night, I'll put on something, some affirmations that give me the information that I want to operate in. If I want to operate in joy, peace, and prosperity, I'm going to put on those affirmations over and over and over again to confirm what it is that those emotions that I want to feel. So
Hmm.
it's very, very important to pick and choose what you put in that subconscious so that it can come out. Because trust me, it's coming out one way or another.
Hmm. Okay. All right, so I want to switch gears for a second.
Okay.
So we were talking about dreams as far as being sleep. Now I want to talk about dreams as far as aspirations go.
Okay.
So, um, energy.
Oh, before we get into that,
Hmm.
can we hit on so because I know when we go here, we're gonna go all the way here. I know there are people that may be curious about dreams when they dream about people that have passed on
Hmm.
and they come to them in their dreams. I know some, those, that's a big question, and oftentimes I have those conversations. So I just wanted to hit on it really, really quickly before we go to that the next portion of it.
Okay.
Um, so a lot of times, if we, so we all are energy. It's scientifically proven we are always energy, and the one thing that never dies is energy. So I don't subscribe to death. There's only transition, right? So we miss the body, of course, but the spirit never dies because the spirit is energy. So a lot of times, if there are people that's close to us, and they transition, a lot of times they'll come to us in our dreams, and they'll give us messages through our dreams, or let us know that they're okay through our dreams,
Hmm.
and that's a very, very real thing, knowing that energy never dies. They have transitioned to that's why the Bible says to be absent from the body is to be present with God. God is the energy that created all things. It's energy. So their energy never dies. Their energy is it's constant. It can't die. So sometimes they will come to you in your dreams.
Hmm. Yeah. I always enjoy that. My father, several times has come to me in my dreams, as well as other family members. The funny thing is, the other family members will talk. My father never speaks. He just sits there.
Really?
Yeah, he just sits there quiet. There's, I think the last dream I had was it was like a family gathering, and everybody is just talking and interacting, and he's just sitting there, and he's just watching, just sitting.
Was
Um,
was that his normal personality? Was he
yeah,
really, really a quiet guy?
yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could be quiet. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. For the most part, yeah, he was quiet. He didn't say a whole lot. Now he would. It's kind of hard for me to say that because he wasn't like that with me.
Okay.
But you get around other people, and he may not be as talkative as everybody else in the room, and not even in a shy way. He was just more reserved, laid
Hmm.
back. He would definitely laugh, he would joke with you, but he wasn't going to be the life of the party.
Right.
He's going to
Yeah.
laugh at the life of the party.
Uh huh. Uh
And
huh.
later on, he's going to recall the things that the life of the party did and said, but he's not going to be the life of the party, though. He's just going to, he's going to be there and observe. But the way that I received it in my dreams was that was his way of letting me know, hey, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm
Absolutely.
still protecting you. When I was there in the physical form, I'm your daddy. I was protecting you physically. Now that I'm no longer there in the physical form, I'm protecting you spiritually. I'm protecting you emotionally. I'm even protecting you psychologically. But I'm still here. I'm still here, and
Yes.
that's how I received that. And it's just one of we had that type of relationship, very very close relationship, where you don't even have to speak, but I know what's going on. I know what's in your mind. I know what's in your heart. And that was the relationship there. So while the funny thing is, other family members that I've been really close to that have passed on,
Hmm.
if they were to come to my dreams and not speak, I would be wondering why.
Right.
But I've never wondered that about him ever,
Hmm.
because I get it. I understand it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I definitely get it. But okay, so dreams and aspirations.
Okay.
All right. So I used to say, I think I was just trying to, this is, I have my own little personal thing. I was trying to be cool or whatever. I used to say, I don't have dreams because dreams are something that you wake up from.
Okay.
And I would say that anytime somebody would be like, well, what are your dreams? What are your aspirations? And that would always be my I now at this point in my life, I say my fake profound answer because I felt like I was just being profound, but it's like, when I really look back at it, it's like, shut up. Like, whatever. Like, just answer the question. Like, what's up with all this fake deep stuff? So, um, um, but now and the other reason I want to stop doing it is because I didn't want to say that to somebody and then they get offended because they are a dreamer and they
Right.
are. And I was trying to make a broader point. I was trying to make the point that you can't just dream. You have to act. You
Hmm.
have to act on things. But
Hmm.
um, the metaphysical explanation. Now, when we're talking about energy and
Hmm.
we're talking about dreams, oftentimes people are dreaming about things. I'm going to use myself as an example
Okay.
because I know that I possess a gift.
Hmm.
So I knew I wanted to be an actor because I had the gift to act. I knew I wanted to be a rapper. I had the gift to rap, or just putting words together. Period. Being an author, um, and even podcaster. I had all of these different dreams. Right. Where is the? And I want to make the connection to dreams and aspirations. Where is the line, or is there even a line that can be drawn between creativity and energy?
Creativity is energy. Um, creativity is energy. Everything is energy. So the to speak on what you were saying, dreams I think are beautiful in the sense of everything starts with a thought.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Nothing.
I'm sorry. Before you go further, I really don't want you to respond to what I just said because I used the wrong word. Because I'm
Okay.
sorry, I used the wrong word. Because when I say
Okay.
when I say creativity, I'm making it everybody's not a creator.
Right. That's true.
I mean gift. That's what I meant to say. Gift. What is the line between gift and energy? A gift that you have.
Mm. Well, that word gift gets a little tricky. So for me, I think what I was taught from my master teacher is that we all are a piece of God. And I know that to be true. That's biblical too. We all are a piece of God. And everything God is, we are. Now, we have the ability to do certain things easier than others. And they might have the ability to do things easier in some areas than we do. But we have access to it all. Some things just come to certain individuals easier. But as far as those particular things, those things that come to us easy, um, it's just we all are a piece of, I I kind of feel like we all are here to have an experience. We all are here to have a certain experience, and we're gonna have it. And the things that we're good at helps us in this walk and this journey and the experience of what we're here to do, even if that's just an experience, whether it be good or bad, whether or that's a perception too, that good or bad thing. We're not even going to go into that, but just to experience what we're here to experience,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Now,
how does that relate to our dreams? If that's
right.
is that the question? How does it relate to our dreams? It relates to our dreams because I think it's I love this. I love the fact that you asked this question. I was just having this conversation with my sister. I said, we've been taught to kind of be puppets to in a certain way, and I hope nobody gets offended by this, but we've kind of been taught to do what everybody else does. It's a way to do things. You're supposed to. How many times have you heard you're supposed to do it this way, or you're
Right.
supposed to do this? But a lot of times, because we've been programmed that way to do it the way we've seen it done before, or the way other people has done it, sometimes that we can get away from our soul call, or the way we see it, the way we feel good doing it. And I think it is those very things that make us different and quirky and maybe weird to some, or that we think are different from others, that's part of our superpower. So I spent half of my life looking at others, because that's the way they said it was supposed to be done, or this person is so-called better because they do it this way, or what have you, but not understanding that the way that I'm designed and created was perfect for what I'm here to do.
Hmm.
So when we embrace the things that are different about us, quirky, we're good at, and we understand that it's for us to follow our own beat, our own drum beat with that, then we find our superpower, which you may call a gift. It's our, I call it my superpower. So for example, my sister is very, very, I call her an educational junkie. And so she's an educational junkie, and I'm more on the arts side, very, very creative. um, and I used to want to, talk as eloquent with the big words and all of that, as some of my family members that's very, very, wrote books, all that bit. um, and then but my thing was I can simplify anything. I've always been that way. Somebody can have a conversation, by the time they finish with it, I done simplified that thing so my kids can understand it. But it took me growing up and learning how to accept myself to know that that's part of my superpower. You know what I mean? The fact that I look at things differently, the things I think of things differently. I may see it different than other people, and that's cool. That's what makes me me, and that's what's helped me become the best me that I can be. So I say that to say, embracing those things that make us different is what actually gets you to the aspirations, gets you to where, the happy place that you want to go, or the things that bring you light, and makes your eyes light up, even though you may get paid for it.
Hmm. Okay, so one last thing.
Hmm.
How does a person who has been very discouraged with pursuing their dreams, what do they need to do? What kind of things do they need to start putting into their subconscious? What kind of things do they need to start telling themselves to help them with how discouraged they are when they're pursuing their dreams? Let's say it's a person who is they have an incredible work ethic, an incredible talent, incredible gift, but every time they try to do something, they get met with wall after wall after wall and obstacle after obstacle. So, and of course, that's going to become discouraging. Um,
Absolutely.
so, what is it? Well, first, let's start here. What is that energy that is creating those obstacles?
Well, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you believe that you can't, you can't. So if there's somewhere in your conscious, subconscious that it's hard, I can't do it. It don't. That only certain people get a chance to do it. There can be many, many blocks that prevent you from doing it, or prevent those opportunities from coming, because it's all energy again. And whatever you believe, whatever's inside is going to come outside. Our Father which art in heaven, how be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. On earth as it is in heaven. And why is that important? Because in the Bible, Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within. So let it be done outside of me as it is inside of me. And I know that was deep. And that was fast. Let it be done outside of me as it is on the inside of me. So whatever that whole heart belief, knowing is what you're going to create, not the things that you on surface tell yourself, not the ego talking. As a man thinketh in his heart, what's in the heart? Truth is in the heart, right? So
Hmm.
whatever you believe in your heart, whatever you know, let's go past. Belief is the lowest form, I was taught. Whatever you know in your heart, it's going to be. So if there is thoughts within the heart of I can't do it, it only works out for some people, or I'm not good enough. Whatever that block is, it's going to manifest on the outside. So, and it doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't, if you've already told yourself, and those thoughts, those heart matters, then it's going to show up. You have to prove to yourself, those situations will prove to yourself what's in that heart. So then comes, how do I fix that? How do I fix your, you have to tell yourself another story, and you have to tell yourself another story until it becomes a knowing. So it's a process. It's not something that happens overnight. For me, it was a process. So I remember not thinking I was good enough. Well, it was a process of being able to tell myself, well, why am, and I'm a why person, the why behind the why, right? I'm a why person. Well, why am I good enough? Because that's just the comment. You know, anybody can say, well, I'm good enough, or I can do this. Well, why am I good enough? Well, for me, my answer was because I am a piece of God, and everything God is, I am. And if that is the case, that means I am good enough. That means I can do it all. That means I have access to it all. So I can do this. And I constantly reminded myself of that. I constantly told myself that story, that knowing, every single day, all day. So if I was met with something that I was iffy about, now I can do this. Everything God is, I am. That means I can do this, and I have access to the information that I need in order to be successful doing it. You know, I am great. I am perfect. I am who I am. I was designed and created to be. You know, everything I need, I have, and I would begin to tell myself a new story. And I told myself that new story all day, every day, until the program took.
Hmm.
Until the program took. So you have to begin to tell yourself a new story. And again, it's not something for me that happened overnight. It was something that happened over time. So then all of a sudden you start seeing little by little it work out. Oh, okay, I did do it. Oh, that did work. Okay. And then I would take knowledge of that. Oh, that did really work out. That was really, really good. And I'll tell you a story that proves that point. I had an opportunity. My sister was a director at some daycare centers, and she asked me to come on to help her just organize. Now, I've always been really good at business, always been an entrepreneur, did hair my whole over 25 years, ran my own business, bought my first house at 18. I was pretty good, right? So she asked me to come in just to help her. And I was at a time in my life where I was transitioning out of a marriage, and had to give up my business and all that bit. So I was like, okay, I'll come in and help. So it went from me coming into helping her to, and it was supposed to be part time. Then it became more hours. Then it was, okay, I need you to go and be a director at a school, at one of the schools, at one of the daycares. So I'm like, okay, I've never been a director, wasn't very, very well versed in daycares. I knew business, didn't know daycares. So now I'm nervous because I'm like, I don't know anything about being a director over daycare, but I do know business. So I then had to begin to tell myself, okay, Nicole, everything you need, you got. You can do this. And then everybody I need in order to help me do this. Okay, Spirit. Okay, God, send me everybody I need to help me do this and make it successful. So every day I would have to go in there and tell myself, Nicole, you can do this. Nicole, you can do this. Like, you can do this. Everything you need, you got. You're a piece of God. Everything you need, you have. And I had to literally tell myself that in the morning when I got up, when I got there, in the middle of the day when the phone call called saying I need to fill out this report that I ain't never seen in my life, you know. You can do this, Nicole. You can do this. So it went from me being director to assist to executive director running all the centers.
Hmm.
But it's about telling yourself a new story and putting in what it is in you so that you remember who you really are. Because this world will make you feel like that you have to be a certain person, you have to act like a certain person, you got to look a certain way, you got to have a certain kind of education, you have to do this. But really, you were born and equipped with everything you need in order to be great. It's now then going to reach for it. It's going to actually put it in action. It's actually reminding yourself over and over and over who you are. And I promise
Hmm.
that greatness will just come pouring out. And everything you need in order to get to where you need to go will come if you're brave enough to do it and grab it. Because it's one thing to manifest it, it's another thing to then actually do it.
Right. Hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, I have nothing more to add. You can go ahead and drop a mic.
I can drop the mic.
You
Drop
can
the
just
mic.
drop a mic. Yes, yes, you did your thing. You killed it. So, um, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Um, oftentimes when I'm asking these questions, we have already had certain conversations, and we may not have necessarily had a conversation about what it is that we're talking about, but based off of other conversations we've had, you have already answered questions that I didn't even know I was going to have. So I get on the show and I begin asking these questions because I know that other people need it as well. So oftentimes I'm asking questions that I already know the answer to. I already know where you're going to go with it, but I'm just doing it because I know it's for someone else. Today was different. I was asking questions for me. I was asking questions for me. Um, so thank you. And look, and hopefully somebody else got something from that.
I'm
But
sure. I hope
yeah,
so too. I
yeah.
appreciate you too. I
Mhm.
appreciate you too, and everybody who tunes in and listen. I appreciate you all for listening and giving us giving us a space to talk and being a part of it.
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely, definitely appreciate that. So, I know we took a few weeks off.
Yes,
Life happens. So, but we're not going to leave you all hanging like this. We're going to be back on track here. So, not next Monday, but the following Monday. We definitely will be back.
yes, we
Yeah.
definitely will. We're back.
Yes,
And I'm
absolutely.
excited to be back. I'm super excited to be back.
Hmm.
It's a great feeling. I always enjoyed this so much. This is
Yes, me
like
too.
my space, even though I have 50. I know you got 50 million things going on, and you already know I got 50 things going on, but this is
Yeah,
like, I love this space. I love it. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share and having this platform.
yeah. Thank you for everything that you share. It's so it's so enlightening. Um, there's um, there's so much growth. I feel like growth. I feel like people actually you're watching me whether people know it or not. You're actually watching me grow in real time because there's so much that I'm getting from this and just even when I know where you're going to go, sometimes it's like getting in the car and I know where I'm going to go. But this time, oh, I didn't see that last time. I didn't see that last time. So that's what it's like. Even though I know where we're headed, I'm still able to pick up things that I didn't see before. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
me too,
appreciate that.
though. I mean, I
Hmm.
was always taught when you talk when you're talking to anybody, you're talking to yourself.
Hmm.
So I'm even in this conversation, I'm talking to myself, and then you'll ask a question that will cause thought, and it brings me back to remembrance. So it's just it's a great thing. It's a great thing, and I get so much out of it also.
Hmm.
because it's usually exactly what I need at the time that I need it.
Yeah, that's deep. When you're talking to somebody else, you're talking to yourself. However, I've called people idiots. I wasn't talking to myself when I said that. I was talking to those idiots. Okay.
Yeah, that's a point of view. That's a point of view, and we can go there. And I'm not about to do that because we'll start a whole nother 20 minutes on this. So we're not even going there. I'm not going there with you.
I think, but I do think that would be a good topic for next time.
Hey, we can do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah, I think that would be good. I would definitely think. Now, I don't know if I want to do that only because some of the things that I've said to people, I'm like, was I saying that to me? I don't want that. I don't want to realize I was calling myself an idiot. But I mean, but we'll get into it. We will get into it. Look, at some point we got to disagree on something, okay? Maybe that'll be the
Absolutely.
show. Okay.
And I was thinking, so in the last 2 days, it's been on me really heavy. So I'm just going to drop it in there, and then we'll formulate it and figure out how we want to add it in it. But I definitely want to talk about how people about possession, people in possession. I think people feel like relationships, they possess something. And
Mhm,
and this is about to be deep. Yeah, I'm about to open a can of worms. Okay,
mhm.
possession of people is called slavery. So I want to talk about that in our relationships. How does that work in our relationships? So I think that's going to be fun.
Yes, yes, and funny. But all right, well, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. So I am Terrell James,
I'm Dr. Nicole Thomas.
and please do not be afraid to ask why.